What's up, everybody? We're here with Golf Wars with my boys, Big T, Tony Niehaus, Bryce, Third and Schlong, Snyder 210, Mitch Snyder. How we doing, guys?
Well, how are the Soldiers doing this week?
Oh, Soldiers are looking pretty tasty. We got the highest price one is 6,200, I believe.
We love it. I feel like me and Snyder are in lockstep with these Soldiers. Bryce, how you feeling?
This feels like I think you said it to me earlier. It feels like a U.S. Open week in terms of like pricing.
It's weird. There's so many, like so much of the win equity is concentrated in two or three people, and there's so many guys that just have dog shit odds that are kind of high priced. Tony, do you feel similarly that there are a lot of guys in the 8K 9K range that are just way overpriced? At least it seems.
It's hard when you see how top heavy those top three are, and I think we're all kind of on the same page with how we approach golf too, where we don't worry as much about ownership and we just want to play the best plays in there and see what happens. And those three top plays, especially when you have 5K and 6K guys that are really good plays, it's just too easy to shove them in there. I'm going to do it and take my chances. I'm not saying I'm going to fade all the like 8 and 9Ks, but I'm going to be way heavier on the top couple guys, especially Rory and Bryson, and take my chances because I love the 5Ks and the 6Ks this week.
Yeah, I mean, I agree on Rory and Bryson. I think Scheffler might be a little overpriced, which you never really think in your head that Scheffler's going to be overpriced, but he's not even the favorite in the tournament, and he's 13,400. So
he could come in like pretty low owned, though, don't you think?
Or
do you think it'll level out?
People love him.
If it truly comes in and they're all three somewhat equal, I mean, he's by far the worst player. The
worst. He's the worst. Yeah.
But if he somehow comes in like 15% and they're 30%, then it's a different story, I think. But yeah.
I think he comes in like half of Rory.
Half? Yeah.
Who do we think's the highest? Is Rory or Bryson?
Rory.
I think Rory will be higher than Bryson. Bryson second. And then like Scotty. I think Rob might get higher than Scotty.
No, JT.
Yeah, JT is going to be really heavy.
I feel like everyone in the industries. I feel like everyone in the industry is like talking about Rom.
Well,
is this Sabre ownership on him just like completely outlandish?
It looked really low. It was like 11.
It can't come in 11. Yeah, it's got to be higher.
I bet he's closer to like 15 for Rom. I think JT will probably be like 25. I think Rory will be close to 30. I think Scotty will probably be like 17 to 20.
Let's be real. You know who's coming in the highest? Keith Mitchell.
Keith Mitchell's going to be very high.
I think he might
like one of my projections. How I kind of do it how JBC does, where you do like a tiered thing. It's really hard to project him down there because his odds are so much better than everyone. You got to lower him, or you're just going to get way too much.
He's my highest player.
Because his odds are just way off.
I never have a cheap guy as my highest player, and Keith Mitchell's my highest player.
What are his odds to miss the cut? Let's see this.
I'm
thinking in the Mega Millie, the 4K, I'm thinking Keith comes in like 40%.
I guarantee he does.
40%. Like in a field of 750, he's going to come in 40%. And I'm going to play him anyway.
How much is our boy Cam playing of him in the Mega? What we should ask him what percent he's got.
Yeah.
Snyder said he was talking to him earlier, and he was too hungover to make his teams.
He said, "I'm too hungover to look at anything right now."
But yeah, no, I saw some OGs back in the streets. The Godfather and Empire both regged this week.
Did Empire max it?
I don't know, but I saw them both regged for some high stake stuff. I thought the Godfather had gotten banned, honestly. But
that's an actual OG name. Both.
Yeah, I was gonna say I used to play that guy for $5K a week on the Euro Tour, like garbage events. And he took me.
Have you ever met him?
I was like, all right, this is dumb.
Have you ever met him? That dude's fucking insane.
No, I've never. Have you met him?
Blake has. He said he was absolutely insane. For Blake to say that about someone is just Like kind of an outlandish statement.
Well, I mean, I guess Cam says that about me.
And people definitely say that about you. Make the cut.
All right, so let's get into the golfers here. We'll start with just that top three range, and I'll start with Tony since that's who everybody wants to hear. Scheffler, Rory, and Bryson. Rank them in order. Talk about the prices. Talk about their futures prices versus what they are, and why you're playing specific ones versus not.
Yeah, I mean, the top's just super easy for me. Scotty and Rory, Bryson and Rory. I mean, this course is built for Bryson. Everyone's been talking about it for a while. Him and Rory both. I mean, Bryson cannot hit the ball left to right. Like, that's one of his weaknesses when he goes to courses where he has to hit it left to right. Can't do it. Here, he's going to be able to have his shot shape a lot of the holes. I think it just matches up but everyone does. I mean, you showed the picture earlier. All of us are on Bryson. That's a little concerning because I know for sure Snyder doesn't usually ride with me on Bryson. He loves him. We all love him. But the course is built for him. I mean, he almost won the PGA last year. Everything lines up. And Rory, I mean, he's won here, 4 times I heard or something. And he's played the best this year. No one's been better than Rory. So they both just check all the boxes. The only thing you'll hear people say is they're so high owned, blah, 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 blah. I got to get different. And I don't care about that. They're the 2 best plays. My main team, I'll for sure have both of them. I don't really see a way around it. And I don't know what percentage I'll finish with them, but it's going to be way above the 30 that they're going to come in. And then you talk about the rest of the 10K range. Like Scotty, I totally agree with JBC where he's just overpriced. I mean, he's $2K more than Bryson. That's just a lot. It doesn't mean I'm not going to play him. I'm definitely going to have some Scotty. But I wish he's the one, if you could guarantee me his ownership, he's the one I would choose probably over anybody. Because if he comes in like 10 or 15, I want to be above. But if he comes in 25, I want to be below. So I don't know. I'm going to play somewhere in the middle, probably play 15, 20% of them and just see what happens. And then the other 2, I think for whatever reason, Rahm always gets steamed in these things. Sabres got him at 11, we said. I bet he comes in 15 to 20. People love John Rahm. And when is the last time he showed up
He's been terrible in the majors. And people have a short memory with these things.
Yeah, he's been terrible in majors. He blows up. I'm going to play some Rahm just because I don't want to be off these studs up top when I'm going all studs and scrubs pretty much. But I think Rahm and Xander are clearly behind. Oberg's the worst play up top by a landslide. I think Oberg gets ownership too up there. So I don't know. I think it's clearly for me, the Rory and Scotty show. I keep saying freaking Scotty. Rory and Bryson show up top for me.
Bryce?
I mean, I 100% agree with Tony here. I think Scotty's an easier click in, like, if you're making 150, like, just because you don't have to hand click in and see how much, like, worse the teams look with him. So, like,
they look like dog shit.
Yeah, they do. I kind of feel that he'll be higher in, like, stuff where, like, people aren't, like, hand building the teams. So, like, single entry stuff, I feel like Scotty might go overlooked. So I'd be a little more willing to, like, play him there and, like, be, like, just because I think that everyone, like, hand building a team is going to, like, it's kind of hard not to click Rory and Bryson. You know, it's just such an obvious click. So, like, in my 150s, like, I feel like I'm going to be significantly over on all of them. I just don't see any way around it this week. Like, I mean, we're going to get into the cheap plays here. I mean, there's an absolute ton of them, and there's some real good ones. Like, we were talking about a pre-show, like, not to skip over stuff, but, like, this 8 and 9K range is just bad. So, like, I'm totally fine playing, like, 2 or 3 of these guys and then just punting off the rest of the team and hoping you get made cuts. Like, you have so much win equity at the top. I would rank it Rory, Scotty, then Bryson. I feel that Bryson is going to steam a ton, but, like, I'm still going to have, like, 30-some% Bryson, like 30-some% Rory and 30-some% Scotty. Like, I think pretty much every single one of my teams is going to be anchored by one of these guys. And, like, I'm not a huge, like, golf rules guy. Like, if you're building lineups, I don't think the worst rule is, like, min one of these 3. because I think it's kind of you just get so much win equity, and your PGA like I feel it kind of sets up like a U.S. Open strategy here, where you just go for the win equity, and then just hope your like dog shit players make the cut.
Right, your top player has over double what your worst player does, like the U.S. Open.
Yeah, score
I
wise.
feel like it's leaning that direction. Snyder, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think I'm going to be right around like 35% Bryson, probably around there. The stat that stuck out to me the most about Bryson, I know there's a lot of stuff about his distance off the tees, hitting the ball great with the draw and everything. But the craziest stat I seen about him was his made putt percentage from 10 to 15 foot in his last two trips here. He's making 64% of his putts in that 10 to 15 foot range in his last two trips here, while the field is only making it roughly around like 27 to 30%. So he's considerably better on these greens than everybody else, and I think that's a huge factor for him.
Who'd you say, Bryson?
Yeah, Bryson, over the last two trips to Quail.
Do you think the rain matters for that?
What's that?
The rain? The fact that it's rained this week?
Well, according to the guys there, I mean, they have new greens, which are only like a couple years old. So that's going to be huge for kind of keeping these greens firmer and faster like they were. And they got sub-air. Supposedly the sub-air has been rolling since Sunday. So I think maybe the best chance that gettable on this course will be tomorrow. And then I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to see these greens really firm and fast. But I think tomorrow would be the best day to get this course. So, but I definitely like Bryson up top. And you got nearly a 2K savings over Scotty, like you said, but the odds are right there on Pinnacle. I mean, he's basically right there with Scotty. And then Rory, I think I want to be around the field on Rory. He's minus 125 versus Scotty in the betting markets. So there, I'm kind of higher on a couple of these guys down below too. Like I think Rahm is my favorite GPP play. I think he's going to be 10 to 15% or something like that. I think his game's going to mesh well here too. He can bomb it off the tee.
My first side bet with you that he comes in higher than you think.
I'll
He
go
always gets steamed.
16%.
Oh, yeah, I like how you said 10 to 15, and then you throw 16 out for the bet.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to probably have around like 22 to 25% of him, but I mean, he's been playing pretty poorly at the Masters. I mean, he still finished T14. I thought he played horrible at the Masters. It was still kind of.
He came back late, real hard.
Yeah. Short game's kind of been coming around as late as well. But another guy I like is I like Xander. I'm going to be well over on Xander. I think Xander is the guy that gets squeezed. I think we could see Xander like 10%, maybe 12%, somewhere around there. And Xander's minus 125 versus JT in the betting markets there in the matchups, and he's going to come in at least half the ownership of JT. So I think Xander is my favorite play, right up there with Rahm. I mean, you look at what Xander's done these majors too. The last 5 majors, he hasn't finished outside of T8. And you look at like the last 10 majors that Xander's played in, he hasn't finished outside of the top 20. So Xander's built for these majors. I think he's going to show up here. He's the past winner. In his last 2 trips to Quail, he's finished in second place. So he was just second to Rory last year, and I was second to, I can't remember who won. I think it was Wyndham won it. He had that hot putter 2 years ago, and Xander finished second to him. So I'm pretty high on Xander. I think Xander and Rahm are my favorite 2 tournament plays. I'm going to get over on those guys. But, I mean, I'm right there with you. I'll be under on Scotty. I'll probably have about 15% Scotty, but I want to get over on Bryson, field Rory, and then over on Xander and Rahm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in lockstep with you guys. I'm only playing Scotty around 15%. Rory and Bryson, I'm getting to around 30. Rahm, I'm getting to around 30. Xander, I'm playing in the low 20s. I think Aubert is the worst play in the range. I'm playing less than 10% on Aubert. I just think with the level of course history for a lot of the other top players, I think his upside is a little limited. He would have to just really play the tournament of his life to win. And he at 10,800, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think the guy that's really getting squeezed is Morikawa. And, you know, with him having the worst odds in this range other than Aubert, I do think that if Morikawa comes in extremely low, despite him being chalky in like the past 10 tournaments in a row, if he comes in extremely low, I will like him in this range. I'm playing him about 15%, and I think that may be above where the market comes in. But yeah, no, best plays in this range for me, Bryson, Rahm, Rory. You know, we all have the similar opinion. We'll move into the upper nines now, or we'll just throw all the nines together because it's like, they're all similar plays. We'll go from, other than JT, we'll go from JT down to Tyrrell Hatton, 99 down to 9. We'll start with you, Bryce. Who's your favorite play in this range? And, who do you really dislike? Mute.
Sorry, Mateo walked in. He was gonna be barking for Rom, so that's his pick this week. I mean, I got JT the highest, but he's gonna come in the highest in this range, so I don't think I'm gonna have like tons of leverage on him. I'd see about 20%, and I'm 19.7, so I'm right there in line with the market on JT. I think my biggest buy in this range looks to be Neiman at 9,600 here. I just think he has a ton of upside in this game. I really like the way he looked at the Masters. I'm not some golf nerd watching like all this live stuff, but he seems like he has the upside to like finish super high here to me. And like the market doesn't love him. So I'm likely going to be over on him. Cantlay, I want to be over on. I think all these guys come in like super low. So like when I'm saying I'm over them, like I'm 16% Neiman, 12% Cantlay, 10% Decky. I think the worst plays in this range are Spieth and Lowry. Kind of skipped over Hovland and Koepka. Going to be probably in lockstep. It feels a little tough fading Brooks at this type of setup, and like it does fit like his and Hovland's game kind of well, but Hovland's gonna have to putt, and that's one thing that he absolutely cannot do. So I came in around 8% on those guys. I think that'll be slightly over. Abro got flat faded. I don't normally do that, but like I just really like everyone above him. And then I definitely prefer Fleetwood to Hatton. I got like triple the amount of Fleetwood that I have Hatton here, but I think that Fleetwood might get steamed a bit. And I never really want to be over the field on Fleetwood when he's chalky. So I'm around 15 on him.
What do you think, Snyder?
Yeah, I think Fleetwood could catch some ownership and be closer to 15% when it's all said and done. I mean, I think he's a great bet to top 20 or better, 26 or better in 7 of his last 8 majors. And he's been T14, T5, and T13 in his last 3 trips here to Quail. I mean, he's just playing some great, consistent golf. The dude just can't win. So I think he's a great like cash single entry type play. I'll probably be around the field or maybe slightly over on him in the 150 for the $5 that I'm going to play. But I like Fleetwood there. I do like Neiman, like Bryce was saying. I think he's one of the better long iron players in the field here. I mean, he's won 3 times on live. The game's kind of trending. And this isn't – I don't really consider this like one of those big boy tough major tracks that he's kind of struggled on. I think this course is a little more gettable. I think he's got a better chance to have more success here. I think his best finish in a major is like T15 or something. I think he can improve on that this week. So I like Neiman right there. Hovland's been great with the ball striking. The short game is just horrible around the green and putting. I'll probably have a little bit of him. JT is going to be the popular click. I think a lot of people are just going to almost like auto start Bryce and JT or Rory Bryce and JT or Rory JT. I'll probably be around the field like Bryce was on JT. I definitely don't want him to hurt me, but I want to have enough in case he comes out. He's been playing some great golf as well. And then Koepka, I've seen a little bit of sharp action starting to come in on Brooks. It's moving a little bit in some of those sites. If he's going to be around 5% ownership, I mean, he's got 3 of these Wanamaker trophies. He's looking for a 4th. His buddy Rory just finally caught up to him for a 5th major. So I think Brooks, if he can he's got to get out to an early lead. He's got to be there early, and Thursday or Friday we could see him just absolutely punt like he did at the Masters when he took that 8 on 18 there after he made a bogey to drop him out of the top 20, and then he just full on punted there on 18. So that's always a worry with him, but I think he's a great tournament play. So I'll be above on Brooks, not a ton, But I think Neiman is probably my favorite play in this range. JT's great play. And then I think Fleetwood's a good play in the low 9 case.
Tony?
Yeah, I mean, this is the range where I start taking some stands for sure. I mean, I literally couldn't imagine clicking Koepka. Like, I don't care what he's owned. He can't even get close to winning on the Live. No one can just flip the switch from not winning on Live to just winning a major. Like, it's not happening.
He's kind of done that before.
He had a lot more form years ago. Like, he doesn't care about golf. And I don't blame him. He's rich. He's living good at home. He shouldn't be focused on golf. Like, the dude it's not Brooks that we remember. Like, he's still going to get probably 7 to 10% ownership. I mean, that's just too high for me. And that's one of the things I do different than I take more stands than most of the, like Mark and Bryce are really good at 150. They're playing a lot more people than me. I always say this, and you can do it multiple ways. I just would rather fade these guys and go double the field on JT. Like, I'm going to have 30% JT, 30% Neiman. Those are the two guys that I'm highest on. And then I'm going to be probably field on Cantlay, Fleetwood. I agree with you guys on Fleetwood. I think Fleetwood finishes 12th or something, which is solid. You can win it up top.
Could be optimal.
Yeah, and I think that he's got a good chance. He's played good this year. He's got good history here. So he checks the boxes. Lowry's played pretty good, so he'll be my 5th guy in this range. But I mean, these guys I'm not playing just don't have form. Hovland has no form. Hideki has no form. Spieth has a little bit of form, but been bad here. And then Hatton, I don't know. I'm just not playing those guys. So the two guys I'm high on are JT, who everybody is, and then I'm with Snyder and Bryce, I think, on Neiman, where I think Neiman checks a lot of the boxes here. He would be one of my sneaky picks to win the whole thing.
Tony pretty much hit the nail on the head as far as the way that I'm treating it. I'm a lot more narrow in this range than I typically would be due to how much better the top range is than it normally is. Hovland and Brooks, I'm playing both of them 5% or less. I think they both have basically no shot of winning, and I really don't like them at all. Hovland I've got right now 3% and Brooks at 5 in my current file. After that, JT is my second highest person behind Mitchell. I've got him in the 30s. I think that he's clearly like his and Aubert's prices should be reversed. So he's about $1,000 cheaper than he should be. So it's a great play for this range. I love Justin Thomas. He's in my core, and I usually don't play him a lot. So it's a big thing for me to be playing JT. After that, next best play is definitely Joaquin Neiman at 9,600. He's only plus 3,100 on Pinnacle. I just you see the odds on him compared to the odds on everybody else, the course fit, everything else. I just really like Neiman here. 9,600 I think is a discount. Some of these live guys I think are getting discounted because of how bad they play the Masters, like as a whole, other than Reed. So I do like Neiman at 9,600. Next is going to be Fleetwood down there at 9,100, as Tony discussed. Much better play than Lowry, Spieth, Matsuyama, and Hatton. So I do love Tommy Fleetwood at 9,100. He was close to my optimal. I'm playing him in the high teens as far as my 150. And then Cantlay would be next. And then everybody else is kind of, less than 10% single digit range. I did bet the futures on Fleetwood and JT, so on DraftKings, and the numbers I got on those were I got JT 22 plus 2,200 and Tommy Fleetwood plus 4,500 on DK for the tournament. Our partner dkng.co/RPS. So moving into the next range, we'll go just the whole 8Ks. Why not? Because they're all about the fucking same. Snyder, what do you think about the range now from Henley to Justin Rose?
Yeah, I think once again they underpriced Corey Connors. He's just a great play again. I mean, he'll be popular, but definitely deserves to be. What is his? Trying to see what I got him at. I can't even find him right now. It'll be
probably
up there.
12%, 15%.
Yeah, somewhere. Oh, there he is, right there. Yeah, right. I got him close to 20, almost even. But yeah, I think he's a great player there. He's been playing some consistent golf right now. He's finished T18 and T8 in his last 2 trips here to Quail. Has finished T26 or better in his last 4 majors as well, with 2 top 10s. So I think Connors is great there. He's a favorite over Hatton and Lowry in the matchup markets as well. So Connors is a guy I'll be very high on, like usual. I think Cam Smith is interesting. I think I've got him under 5%. He's one of those guys that I think could do all right at this track. I mean, there's not too big of a fault missing off the tee here. So if he misses some of those fairways, it won't be as big a disadvantage, I don't think, here. He's improved his ball striking his last 2 starts as well. I think he's worth being in the 150 pool. He's got one of the best short games on tour, too. So I think he could get hot with the putter. So I'll have a little bit of him. Patrick Reed, going right back to him. I've already bet him top 40, top 30, top 20, top 10, I think. And then I bet him with an each way top 10. So I've got Reed kind of across the board there. He currently sits 51st in the official world golf rankings, I think. So if he can get in another big finish here and get inside that top 50, that would be huge. He was T4 in his last live start. And then he was basically that, I think it was one short putt he missed away from being in that playoff at the Masters. He finished 3rd there. So always love Reed, especially on some of if it plays tough. He's got one of the best. He's probably got the best short game on tour, I bet, between anyone. I like Justin Rose in majors. I think he's going to be under 5% as well. So won't take much to get overweight on him. He's finished inside the top 10 in the last 5 PGA championships as well. And he's been runner-up in his last 2 majors. He lost in that playoff to Rory, and then he was T2 at the Open last summer. So I like Rose in majors, and he's going to be under-owned. And then Sepp's got one of the best prices as well, kind of right there with Connors. He's got really good odds in the betting markets, low 8Ks. The iron play has been one of the best. He's gaining just over a stroke per round in the last 36 rounds. It just comes down to the putter with Sepp. If he can get the putter to start rolling, he can be right there like he was last week. So I like Sepp there. My favorite plays are Patrick Reed and Corey Connors in this range. I think Justin Rose is a good upside play, and then Sepp's right there too. I think Sepp's one of the best plays as well.
Tony?
Yeah, I think this range is maybe the most clear cut of any of the ranges, and I think it's Connors, Straka, Pat Reed, just way above everyone in the odds market, way above everyone in how they've been playing. They've been playing awesome golf. So everyone that's watched my golf shows over the years knows I like recent form, I like course history, and then I watch the odds. It's literally all I look at. I don't look at all the grass and the ball striking and the whatever else nonsense. I just look at that stuff. And those 3 are clearly way above. So I'm going to have like 30% of all 3 of those guys. And it'll probably be obviously my 3rd guy in a lot of those teams because I'll have 2 studs and then one of these guys and then 3 cheaper guys. And I love that roster construction this week. And the thing is, like, you can play a lot of chalky guys. Like, you can play Connors, even with Rory and Bryson, and that's a lot of chalk. But some of these cheap guys just aren't owned. So you're still going to be unique enough, and I love it. And then the 2 guys that are in my pool that I'm just getting a little bit of are Minwoo, because I always like his ball striking on courses like this. And then Wyndham. I mean, Wyndham won the PGA, 2 years ago?
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open he won 2 years ago?
But it's a similar setup.
Yeah, I remember he won one of these things. So I like him. And their odds are way worse. I think they're worse plays, but I also think they have the upside to top 5 here. So I'm going to get a little bit of those 2. Rest of the range is just easy fades for me. They're all low owned, so I'm not like saying they're crazy fades, but I'm not playing anyone else in this range.
Bryce? Mute again.
Muted again. Play Mateo once again. I'll keep this short and sweet. I completely agree with Tony. I think those 3 are the clear-cut plays here. I would rank them: Connors, Sepp, then Reed. If you want to get guys, I still have my pool. I have a bit of Henley. I have some Day, a little bit of Minwoo, and I flat faded Zhao, Wyndham, and Cam Smith. I don't really like Sungjae either. I just think it's super clear cut. Connors
I've
is
heard
always
a ton
there.
of
Maybe.
people
Connors,
talk up Sungjae. Sungjae's like the sneaky play everyone's so excited about.
I think
Sungjae's
so.
That's Wiley full of shit, dude.
There
these
was Wiley
agents are
talking him
always
up too.
sneaky plays until they're not.
It's always
And then
Wiley
they
talking
just
about
don't.
Sungjae.
I have a personal Sanjay bias. The guy's never winning.
Yeah.
Like it, I mean, you don't need to win at this price, but like, I don't know. I think all these guys have a better chance, or most of these guys have a better chance to contend. Like, I feel like Connors is always there, like top 10, top 20. Like Seb has super high upside in his game. Like Minwoo, I mean, I don't think he can put 4 days together, but I think he has a better chance of like being on the winner than Sanjay here. This isn't turning into like a shit on Sanjay session. Like, I mean, he's going to be what, 4%? And I'm coming in around 4% on him. It's
I
not
think
like a
he's going to
major.
get steamed higher. I've heard a lot of people
No,
talking about.
no.
Well, if he gets steamed higher, let people steam him higher, and I'll be sitting there.
I
with my
love
4%.
it. I love seeing these other places talk him up because I think it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you were playing it super narrow, like if I had 20 teams instead of, I'm playing 5 in the 4K. I'm playing 150 elsewhere. Like if I had, he didn't make the cut for me on my 5 teams. Like Connors does, like Sep does, obviously. Like I feel if you're playing like 20 max, like I wouldn't play him in 20 max, but like if you're playing more teams than that, I don't really X people out that much. I think if you were going to do it, this is the range where I would start to. I think Zal's the worst play. Guy's just completely lost right now. But I just don't play guys like that. So if
you
you're
guys
looking for
agree
a cut
that
for me, it's him.
Connor, Straka, and Pat are 3 of the best plays on the board?
Yes.
I might not extend Pat to one of the best plays on the board, but I definitely would for Connors and Straka.
The best thing about Patrick Reed is people hate Patrick Reed, so he's going to come in way lower owned than he should be. I already had one of my friends bet me that he wouldn't finish top 40. He's like, I hate him. I'll bet you that he doesn't finish top 40. I'm like, all right, I'll add some more.
The old hate bet.
Mark and I did this Masters auction. I think we talked about it last show. We had Patrick Reed.
We had Patrick Reed the Masters.
And we got him for super cheap just because everyone hates him. And I'm like, give me Patrick Reed at the Masters every single day of the week. Like his game doesn't set up quite as well here, but I mean, as you guys mentioned, he's a gamer. He likes to play these majors. And, you know, if he's in danger of missing the cut, he'll just cheat for you. What more could you ask for?
I have very similar opinions to you guys on this range. I don't have a single, and this is going to be very surprising to you, Tony. I don't have a single guy in this range more than 2% other than 3 you mentioned. Connors 1, Straka 2, Reed 3. I've got them all 15 to 20. The rest of the range is all 2% down to a straight fade on Will Zalatoris. So I really hate everybody else in this range. It's those 3 guys. That's it. You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense when you're getting guys at 100 to 1 that are fucking 8800 and shit. Like it's nonsensical to play this range. If that ends up burning me, then so be it. Fuck it. Like statistically, it makes no sense to play a lot of guys here. We'll go down to the next range. We're going to go from 79 to 75. So we're going to go from Daniel Berger down to Matthew Fitzpatrick. We'll start with you, Tony. Who do you like in this range? Who do you hate in this range? How are you vibing on this?
So I think it's the worst range on the whole slate, really, because of how much I like the value of the 6s and the 5s, and how much we like the studs and the 8Ks. Obviously, we talked about the 3 best plays, I think, in the whole mid-range are in the 8Ks. I don't love this range. I don't think I have anyone in this range above 15%. I have all like 10 and less in here. But at the top, I think Daniel Berger's a sneaky breakout candidate. He's been pretty good all year. He was a big upside, obviously, before he left with whatever he had going on for a couple of years.
Back, I think.
Yeah, it feels like he could pop one of these weeks. Like if he was in contention Sunday, I wouldn't be that shocked by it. So I think he's pretty solid. I want some of him. Siwoo, we talk about him a lot on these shows. I always like to just have some because he can pop off. He's got pretty good form.
He's won here before, right?
I didn't even know that, so that makes me like it even more that he's won here. It made sense because I was in my head. I'm like, he checks out at a course like this, so I'm glad you said that because I want some of him. He's got pretty good form too, so I like him. Sam Burns odds, like when I first did my sheet, he was like 150 or something, and now he's almost 100 to 1. So he got steamed pretty good. I always like playing some Burns too. Like he's solid in the 7K, so I want some of him. And Mav McNeely, I'm definitely going to have a little bit of him. But like I said, I'm low on this range. The rest of these high sevens, I think Sahith withdrew, right? But Fox, Kim, Homa. I thought about Homa. I was tempted for a minute. And honestly,
Never
I wanted
Homa.
to play
Another
Homa.
winner here. Another winner here.
And
Never
I wanted
Max
to
Homa.
play him this week. I did. He was one of the first names I looked at when pricing came, and I thought he would be cheap again. The problem is
Was
he's
not.
freaking 7,600. So I was still tempted because he's finding a tiny bit of form, and I don't know. I can't do it at 7,600 though, so I'm off it. I'm low on this range.
Bryce?
I think the best plays here are at the top of the range. I kind of extend, like in my mind, like I kind of extend the AKs down to these guys. I like Berger, Mav, and Burns here. Those are kind of the three that really stand out to me. These guys are all like they're fighting for Ryder Cup spots. Like they're good golfers. You're getting a quality guy for like not breaking the bank. Like you can play these guys with any combo of players that you have up top. I would prefer Connors to this range slightly, but I'm going to have a lot of those three. After that, it drops off for me super fast. I think the mid sevens are probably the weakest part of the range for me. I'll have a bit of Siwoo. I think Dustin just doesn't care at all. I don't play Max Homo. Fitz, Bobby Mack, just gutless Euros. I'll have a little bit of them. Finau, he looked a little better last week.
We're cutting it off at 75.
Okay. Yeah. That's it for me.
Snyder?
Down to 7,500, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Berger's a good play. I mean, I've been playing him over the last couple of months. I thought he was going to get that win at Heritage. I actually bet him there, and he was close. I mean, he was like T3 with a horrible round one, I think. So he's almost there. And then he finished T11 last week as well. I mean, the ball strike has just been so good for Danny Berger that I'm going to keep riding him. I think he's a great play in underprice here. I think he should be like mid 8Ks or upper 8Ks. So I like the discount we're getting here on Berger. And then Burns is another guy I've kind of jumped on the last few events. I mean, the putter is always elite for him. You know he's going to make a ton of putts. It just comes down to the iron play and around the green game, which is definitely a cause for concern. He is favored over Wyndham, minus 135 in the betting market. So I like some Burns in tournaments. That's about it for me up here. I don't want to play Tom Kim. I don't want to play some of these other guys. Siwoo's fine. I'm not going to play Max Homa. He's an underdog. The Fowler minus 135. So not going to play Max Homa there. So that's about it for me here. Just those two guys mainly in this upper 7K range.
I'm in a similar boat to you guys where I think Daniel Berger is clearly the best play in this range. He's close to as good of a play as your Connor, Straka, Reed triumvirate. After him, it's pretty much it's Mav and it's Burns. I like Burns. I like Mav. I think the course fits well. I think that they'll both play well. 7,800, 7,700, I think is fair price on both of them. So I'll definitely have them here. Beyond that, it's, Homa's in my pool. Siwoo Kim is in my pool, so I'll have some, but the other guys, not so much. No Ryan Fox, no Tom Kim, very little Dustin Johnson. Not really a fan of much else in this range with those Euro guys at 7,500. We'll go from 74 down to 7. So Brian Harmon down to Thomas Dietrich. Bryce, we'll start with you. How are you feeling about this lower 7K range? I feel like a lot of people are targeting it.
I kind of like the range above it a little bit more. I don't know. I just think that you're getting I find myself going up or down from this range a lot. I know some people might be doing that with like the high 7Ks, but I'm kind of doing it with the low 7Ks here. I think my favorite play in the range is Keegan. I think his game sets up super well here. And I don't think that's going to be like a super contrarian take or anything, but I do like Keegan. Fitz, Bobby Mack, already talked about them. Finau, he looked a little better last week. In theory, his game should be good here. He's only 7,400. I can't really get there a lot. I'm not going to have tons of him. I'm likely right around the field at like 6 or 7%. Harmon, don't think his game fits that well here, but I mean, he's a gamer. I'll have a bit of him. Davis Thompson, actually, I do think have some upside. I prefer them to Harmon. My second play in the range that I really like is Benny Ann. I think like driving and I mean, he used to not be able to putt, but his putting game's really turned around here. So I don't mind him with the flat stick. And his ball striking is obviously always very good. Cam Young, don't have tons of interest in him. Like, I'd like him if he was cheaper. Sergio, he was probably like the worst Masters play that like I liked and I thought was sharp. I don't really like him here. I'm willing to admit a mistake, and I think that might have been a mistake. Ricky Fowler, I want nothing to do with, and Detry's a full fade for me.
Tony?
Yeah, I was looking at my percentages while you guys were going through it. I don't have over 10% of anyone in the 7K, so it's definitely my least owned range of the whole slate. And the lower sevens are the weakest for me. Even I like the higher, like Berger, more than these guys. I'm going to play Harmon a little. I agree with Bryce, though. It's not a course for Harmon. Harmon's my favorite. He's won me the most money, probably even more than Bryson has. He's just a gamer, and he putts good, so he always has a chance. He won a bunch for JBC a few weeks ago too, so he's kind of he's a hero of Run Pure. He's just a gamer, man. Like, this course does not fit him at all, though. But you never know when he just gets hot with the putter, so he putts good. And Keegan, those are my two guys at the bottom. But again, I don't like this range, so I'm going to be way lower than probably anyone in this range.
Snyder?
Yeah, I think Higgins a good play. He'll be the highest owned in this range for sure. He's always good for tournaments. A guy I like in this range that could go overlooked and could be around 5% or so is Davis Thompson. I like his upside. Has finished T30 in his last two events, which were both elevated, stronger fields. He was T10 at the Players' Championship, T13 at Torrey. So he can kind of hold his own in these bigger field type events like this. He's minus 130 versus Rye in the betting markets. So I'm going to be on some Davis Thompson. I'll be overweight on him. Cameron Young, he can bomb it off the tee, and he might have found the putter, it looks like, in the last couple of events. So I think Cameron Young's definitely in play. And then I'll have some Fowler as well. He'll probably be under 5% as well. Good course history. Looked decent last week, and he's a pretty strong favorite over home in the betting markets, minus 135 in that matchup there. So I think my strongest tournament play in this range is Thompson, but I think Keegan's probably the best play, and he can sprinkle some of these other guys around there too. I don't know. I'll probably have a little bit of Harmon. That's about it, though. I don't love a lot of this. Sergio's kind of fallen off the deep end. I'm not going to go there. I think Dietrich's fine for like tournaments and such too.
I agree with you guys. I think Keegan is the best play in this range by a substantial amount. He's going to be my only guy that I have in double digits in this range. After that, you're looking at, as Snyder mentioned, Davis Thompson would be next for me. He's played well in these elevated events, and I think that he might be ready to make a move into the elite status of golf, similar to how Xander made a few years ago. After that, Finau, Bhatia, Harmon, Fowler, Cam Young on. I'm playing them all about 5%. I think they're all very, very similar plays, like not necessarily from a strategic standpoint, but from a leverage standpoint. So I'm going to mix and match them in. I think that Sergio and Dietrich are terrible plays, and I'm hardly playing any of them. So I'm kind of getting rid of those. But everybody else in the range kind of fits into a certain box other than Keegan and Davis Thompson. And so now we'll move down to we'll just go the whole 6K. So 69 down to 6. So Dean Burmester down to Nick Taylor. Snyder, we'll start with you. How do you feel about this the 6K range? I think a lot of people are targeting it. How do you feel about it?
I think there's some great prices down here. I mean, don't really have to talk much about Keith Mitchell. Everybody knows about him down there. But Dean's down there. He can send it off the tee. He's been playing some solid golf over on Live. He was T12 at Valhalla last year, and then he was T19 in the Open last summer. So a couple good finishes in the majors for Dean there. I think he's fine. I think Harris English is a solid play down here as well. He's kind of sneaky long off the tee. He averages just over 300 yards. T11 last week at that elevated event, and he was T12 at the Masters, T30 at the Players earlier this year, and then he won that event at Torrey. So and he's made his last 5 cuts at majors, and 3 of them were T22 or better. So I like Harris English. T3 here at Quail back in 23. So I like Harris English a decent amount. I think Andrew Novak is one of those guys as well. It's kind of taking that big step forward, continues his solid play. T17 last week. Then he won that team event. He was good at the Heritage there as well. He was T3 at Valero the week before that. Just been solid across the board stats-wise. So Novak's a guy I'll have a decent amount of. I kind of like some Puig. I think he can fully send it off the tee. I mean, the dude's averaging right around 325 off the tee. Has 5 top 5s across the Euro and Live Tours this year. I think he's got some great upside there too. Slight movement towards him in the matchup markets too. He was a decent sized dog to Denny McCarthy, and they're almost pick 'em now in that matchup there. So I like some Puig there. I think Bud Cauley's a soldier. I think he's been great for us. I mean, we've been rostering him the last couple of months. He was T5 at Valero, T4 at Valspar. He showed up at the Players with a T6. This will be his first major since that 2020 PGA Championship he played. So I'm just good to see him back in these majors. He earned his way here too, which is great. No sponsors or anything like that. T24 in his last trip to Quail. So I think the good ball striking is going to continue for Bud. So I want to have him. And then Neargard Peterson's another guy, just been good overseas and such. I know Tony was talking him up in the chat too earlier. T22 at the Valspar, second at the Puerto Rico Open. Great ball striker. Just needs the putter to kind of come alive for him as well. So those are the main guys I'm on down here. There's some others that I'll have in the pool, but definitely Keith Mitchell will be the highest owned guy for me, probably on the slate. But I like some of these other guys as well.
Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to talk about Mitchell here, so I'm just going to go down the list and just guys I'm playing. I'm playing a bit of Rye, a bit of English. I like Pendrith a good amount here. A little bit of Denny, and by bit I mean like 3 to 8% type of range, and like guys I like will be probably like 10 to 12 type of deal. Mitchell's going to come in around. I have almost exactly 30% Keith Mitchell here. So, and if anything, I think that's low. I think he's just that good of a play. It's an obvious misprice. I like Rasmus Højgaard, Novak, Jaeger, all a good amount. Nikolai, I think you want to play Rasmus instead of Nikolai. I like Puig. Snyder talked about him. If you can rip it off the tee here, I think it makes a lot of sense. And from all accounts, the rest of his game is pretty good. I can't say I know tons about it. Jake Knapp kind of fits the bill for me here. Like super, super long, has some upside and can sink some putts here. Some kind of off the wall guys here. Bud Cauley, I'm going to ride with Snyder on him. I always play the Soldiers. Rasmus Norgard Peterson. I like him a good amount. And Ryan Gerard, I think he's been playing like fairly underrated golf. And then my final guy in this range that I do like a good amount, and I'm actually probably going to have on one of my 4K teams here, is just the way it works out, is Nick Taylor. I think it's kind of similar to like a Mackenzie Hughes type of play, and you get like 1% on him. All you're looking for here is just kind of guys who can make the cut that are going to like pair well with, like we talked about, jamming the studs. This is kind of the range that I prefer to do it in. Like I think you're getting a much higher quality golfer here than dipping down into the fives if you need to. Like we'll get into some of these fives for you guys, but I just think in general you're getting a much better golfer here.
Tony?
Is Big T going to hit the GK? What's GK mean? What's that slang?
Yeah, what's the GK? Oh, hit the bong.
Oh, I already got a little something going here. But this range is my favorite with the studs, like you guys are saying. These guys just pair so nicely. And this Nearguard Peterson that you guys both talked about, he's had some like crazy good results. I know some's World Tour and stuff, but 22nd at the Valspar, second at Puerto Rico, some really good finishes and some other pretty big tournaments on the World Tour too. So I think I don't really understand why he's 300 to 1. He's obviously not going to win, but just a flyer at 300 to 1.
I mean, anybody can win the PGA, bro.
300 to 1 is like crazy for a dude that has pretty good results. Like I like that at 300 to 1. So I like him a ton. You guys talked about Keith Mitchell, clearly the best odds play. I mean, 98 to 1, only 6,200. I mean, it is what it is. You should have Keith Mitchell in your pool a good amount. Rasmus, I agree with Bryce. I think he said better the better Højgaard. Just a great play down at 6,600. Puig, I'm with you guys. Liv, Bomber, he just fits the profile too. And who's been better than Andrew Novak the last month? I mean, he's been awesome. And the guy is 6,600. He's got a win and a second. Granted, not in a major, but he won a tournament, got second. Well, didn't he do good? Which one did he win, Snyder?
He won the team event.
And second the week before where he should have. Who beat him in the playoff or whatever it was? Not that it matters. He should have won. He went to the play.
Yeah,
It was
I'm looking at Snyder, expecting him to remember.
It was a good guy, Rory or somebody.
Yeah.
It was Rory, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I mean, the dude's playing as good as anybody. 6,600 for this guy's like stealing. Denny McCarthy, 2 top 10s. The last.
No, it was JT. It was JT.
It was JT. I knew it was
Heritage. Yeah, JT.
Yeah. Ryle said gummy season. Yeah, you gotta get things going here. You gotta help me out with a few of the memories. But
you gotta get creative, you know?
Yeah. Gotta get creative, correct. And then Taylor Pendrith, I don't think you guys talked about him. He's a guy that I just like because the price. I think he fits the course pretty good. I'm not gonna play a ton, but a little sliver of him. And for JSU, Mr. Spoon, JJ Spoon, I got to get him in my player pool for JSU. But I think this range is very, very strong, which is one of the reasons I want all of the studs up top.
I completely agree. This is the best range in the entire field. Just gonna run it down real quick. Of all the guys that I have between 5 and 10%, Adam Scott, Aaron Rye, Harris English, Danny McCarthy, Taylor Pendrith, Andrew Novak, Rasmus Højgaard, David Puig, Steven Yeager, JJ Spawn, Jake Knapp, Cameron Davis. I'm playing all of those between 5 and 9%. I think they are all very good plays, and I think that they're all very viable and high stakes. I'm playing Keith Mitchell in the 30s, as I discussed earlier. The best play to me in this range, other than Keith Mitchell, is going to be JJ Spawn at 6,200. He's shown an ability, like clearly making a playoff at the Players. He's shown an ability to compete with some strong fields, but I really do not think there is that much of a difference between, say, your Nick Taylor 6K and your Aaron Rye at 6,800. Like, these guys are all the same, and so I'm playing them all a lot because I also think they're the same as the guys in the 7Ks. So you're getting $1,000 discount. I love this range. I'm living here for quite a bit. We'll move into the dregs next. 59 to the bottom. Snyder, how do you feel about the guys down here? You know, some tournaments don't have it, but they've actually got some good players here. So I feel like a lot of guys are underpriced. How are you vibing on this?
Yeah, we got a soldier down here too. And I think another thing to take into consideration with some of these strong plays in the 6s and 5s is the cut rate at this. I mean, there's a lot of PGA pros in this. I mean, there's like literally 35 to 40 guys that are just stone dead on arrival.
What about Michael Block?
Yeah, the cut rate's going to be kind of closer to like what we see at the Masters, I think. So I think you literally have about 60-65% chance of making the cut here for most of these guys. So that really helps you like jam some of these cheaper guys in. But down here, the soldier down here is the hometown guy. I think he's the best play down here in Mac Hughes. He's also a member here at Quail Hollow, lives right here in town. I think the price tag on him at $5,600 is pretty egregious coming off the strong finishes that what he's done. I mean, he was runner-up at Myrtle Beach last week. He finished T3 at the RBC Heritage, the elevated event. He was T10 at Houston, and he was T6 here at Quail last year. So I think Mac Hughes is a great play down here. I'll be overweight on him for sure. Another guy I like down here is Eugenio Lopez Chicara. I mean, he's just been crushing overseas. Just under 10 strokes. 10 strokes.
That's not a real human. What name did
Yeah,
you
hold on. Let me get this for you. Eugenio Lopez Chicara.
Yeah.
You made that up. That's a creative player.
No, he's been crushing overseas. He's got a win and a bunch of top fives overseas. He's gaining just under 10 strokes gained total in his last 8 events. Just been crushing it overseas. So I like him. I'd like
he was the guy that was the top college player that Liv poached.
Yeah, he was at the top. Like him and Aberg were right there as top amateurs coming out. So I mean, Aberg went to the PGA and Lopez Chicara, whatever, went to
and
Liv.
Guess who has more money?
He went to Liv and was on Sergio's team. They're both from Spain, and I don't know what happened, but Sergio kicked him off the team, so he had to go to the Euro Tour then. So I don't know what happened there on Liv, but he got booted from Sergio's Spanish team there. So ended up
on. Looks like a clown.
And another guy I like down here is where the hell did he go? Where is he at? John Kiefer. Dude's been crushing the Korn Ferry Tour.
I knew for a fact you were going to talk about him on this show. Like I wrote it on my notepad. I was so sure.
Yeah, he just won an event on the Korn Ferry Tour.
He's like by far the best, isn't he, on the Korn Ferry?
He's been a standout on the Korn Ferry. Hands down the best player over there. He can nuke it off the tee, too. He hits it over 300 yards off the tee, and he's hitting the greens and regulation at a very high rate, too. I think right around like 75% or something like that. So definitely a guy I like down here. But a lot of these other guys you could kind of mix in. I think a lot of them hold some good cut equity. Moeller, Nicholas Norgard Moeller, I think he's solid down there. Marco Pienge has been playing all right. He just had a win on the Euro Tour a couple of weeks ago. I think he's fine. Garrett Kigo, I think, is fine if you want to punt there. Some other guys, Sammy Valmaki's down there. He's been playing some good golf. Definitely not Michael Block, but I think like Gracerman, he bombs it off the tee. Tom McKibben bombs it off the tee. I think those are guys you can kind of sprinkle in as well down here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about like how there's just like 40 guys that are drawing stone dud to make the cut. So I think the 5K range is like better than it kind of normally is.
You don't like Sean McKeel?
No. I think the cheapest guy you can play, I'm gonna go from the bottom up and switch it up here. Cheapest guy in my pool is Nicholas Norgard Muller at 5,400. I would just X everyone below him. And then
you can't get rid of Kiefer, the Korn Ferry hero.
Get Kiefer in there.
Get him back in there, Kiefer Sutherland.
I ain't playing that motherfucker.
No, you can't disrespect soldiers like that.
He's not a soldier.
He's not.
He's not a soldier, but he's.
I'd rather play BJ Singh.
He's a nominee.
A soldier nominee.
No, he's a deserter. He's a deserter.
He's a deserter.
He's a deserter. Yeah.
He's the Taliban.
He joined the JBC Jihad.
He's gonna whoop you, Snyder.
All right, you got to play a team now, Mark.
The funny thing is, he's actually gonna crush. I love his game.
He's gonna make the cut for sure.
Okay. All right, I'm putting Kiefer in the pool. I'm putting this Chikara clown in the pool.
Yeah, there you go.
Just look at his picture. He just looks like
Shikara, all right, he is
Riles.
cool, bro.
Bro, he
Shikara
looks like
been in the pool.
dude. He looks like that F1 driver that got kicked off Red Bull.
He sounds like an F1 driver's
Perez.
name.
Perez.
Yeah, he does sound like an F1 driver. Maybe he can buy some nice cars with all that live money. But I don't know. I'm just gonna run through these guys. I have my pool: Canner, Vegas, Valmaki, Hisatune Hall, Matt Wallace, McGreevy, Patrick Rogers. I have a good amount of Grazerman, McKibben, Mac Hughes, Powell, Kirk Cole, EVR, Griffin, Moore, Thorpe Jornsen, and then Thorpe Jorn Olsen.
Did you say Club Cam Cole a minute ago in the middle? What was that name you said? That was
Eric
like
Cole,
Club
he said
Cam.
Eric Cole, EVR.
I heard Club
Eric
Cam
Cole.
in
He said
respect.
Eric Cole.
If Cam somehow made this field or like made a U.S. Open,
Oh,
field,
I would
Cam's
would
good
think
at
that
golf,
probably
man. I
Cam
played with him at
anything.
Scottsdale. He's good.
I had never really met him that well before. I met him one time, and he's like trying to get us to like invest in his like. I think you were in that group text.
I was
Tony.
in there. Yeah, I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like his club championship or whatever. And
Oh,
I
the
was like,
cut up for his own club championship. That was great.
We didn't know
I
anyone
was.
or anything.
I didn't know anything about
He
it.
was like, bet
And
on
like-
me. He's like, oh wait, I came.
It was like 50,000. He's like, just get in on this 50 grand on the Calcutta.
Yeah, knowing him now, I would for sure buy into it. I was just like, I have no
I
idea what the
trust
fuck
anything
this
Cam
even
does,
is.
definitely.
And then he like won and he was taunting us with it. Like, you would have won
Yeah.
all this money.
Dude, I trust anything he says implicitly at this point.
Yeah, I just didn't know him well enough at the time. Gary Woodland, I think, is a good play. I might eat my words there, but I think you're getting like, I don't know. You say U.S. Open, like PGA. I think this kind of plays like a U.S. Open, just easier, just like the same type of golfer you would choose. I mean, that just has Gary Woodland's game written all over it. So, guys, I really do like in this range. Woodland, Hughes, P-Raj are kind of and Nicholas Norgard Muller are kind of like my four that I'm super high on. But I think you can make a case for anyone that's not like an old, that has four limbs and is not a PGA Tour professional.
Tony.
Yeah, I mean, you guys named a lot of the guys in this range, and I don't have a ton of any of them, but there's a few guys like Norgard Moeller. I played him a few times this year. Honestly, he hasn't really come through for me, and I think he's kind of struggled in some of the PGA events, but he's got a big game, 5,400. EVR has been playing pretty good, second a couple weeks ago. I just like these guys that have the talent to pop off.
Well, that was second by 10 strokes.
What was it?
He was second by 10 strokes.
Oh, it was the Scotty week.
Yeah.
Yeah. He might have won though if Scotty wasn't.
That's
in.
true.
Look at that
If Scotty decided that he didn't want to play, he would have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could have picked up COVID like Rahm.
It's like when I'm in a DFS tournament, I lose by 50. I'm like, if that guy had just woken up this morning and decided he didn't want to play,
He'd have finished first if it wasn't. But Michael Thorbjornsen, I mean, he's got big time. He's another guy that I've played a lot this year that hasn't really come through for me, but he's got a big time game for 5,700. I agree with Gary Woodland. You have to play at 5,800. He can still hit it out there. He's won a U.S. Open too, right? Back in the day, but he still won it. Patrick Rogers is cheap. I like this Kiefer guy. I was going to talk about him, but I knew Snyder would anyways because he's by far the best on the Corn Ferry. Mackenzie Hughes I have as the number one value in this range. Good play. Who'd you say the dude? Lopez Shakara? You got to have some
Lopez Shakara.
Yeah, I like that.
Get you some.
And I have one guy in this range on my main team too, but you gotta sign up for the site to see who it is.
I completely agree that the best play in this range, Snyder, is Mackenzie Hughes at 5,600, and I think he'll be mad chalky. I think that Mackenzie Hughes will probably come in over 15%. I think
You think he's going to be that high?
Yeah, I think everybody's in the same wavelength.
I got like 20% Mac Hughes.
Yeah, my optimal team has Mackenzie Hughes. I think a lot of people are in that same boat. After him, the same way Bryce did, I can just go down the list. But I think the second best play in this range is Patrick Rogers at the same price as Mackenzie Hughes, 5,600. So that may be a way to get off of all of the chalky Mackenzie Hughes ownership. But after that, you're looking at Thorbjorn Olsen at 5,800. Really like it. He hits it far, and that's good for this course. But Kevin Yu and Gary Woodland, that's where you want to live at 5,800. They're both extremely good plays, especially Gary. I'm playing Gary in high stakes. I love his fit here. So definitely playing him. Eugenio Lopez Chikara. I definitely have him quite a bit. Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, EVR, Cole, Thor Bjornsson. Like, I'm playing all those guys like between 2 and 4%, mix them in. I don't think any of them are drawing dead. After that, Seamus Power. And I wouldn't go any lower than Norgard Muller, as we discussed earlier. That is the guy to play at the dead base, 5,400. Nicholas Norgard Muller, I think, is a decent play. He should make the cut and cost nothing. So I agree with you guys on that one. And now we will cut to Tony for the pick six segment.
See if I can actually get this thing up here. There we go.
If he can manage to work his computer with the gummies.
There we go. Look at that. That's flawless right there.
That was flawless.
We got finishing position. How many do we got to pick here?
We should all pick two. Or sorry, we should all pick one. Because there's 4 of us.
I get to pick Bryson then, since I pulled it up.
All right, you go first.
So it's better than 9.5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Snyder.
I just pulled it up. I'm gonna go. Where is Connors? Connors better than 28.5.
All right.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yep. Bryce.
Let's find a scumbag here that we can fade. Terrell Hatton, worse than 22.5. He's not finishing top 20.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I'm getting a spicy meatball here. Scotty, worse than 4.5.
That's seriously his number?
Yeah,
he's a good golfer. He's the best on the planet.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I love that too. Even if he finishes 5th, we win.
All right. So the 4 pick 6 picks here.
We need 2
Scotty
more. We got to go for the
4.5.
Minyaka here. We need 2 more.
All right. Well, let's pick 2 more then. Shit.
It says
All right, they got
15X down here.
Keith Mitchell better than 40.5.
Yeah, Keith Mitchell better than 40.5. Let's do that.
I got one.
All right.
Scroll all the way down. See if you get it. Bottom row.
Bottom row.
Very
Holes
bottom row.
completed. I love holes completed.
Oh, like all the way down here?
Oh, it's holes completed. I thought that was finishing position.
Now you're trying to confuse me.
Phil missed the cut. Phil missed the cut.
I missed it. I was going to do Phil worse. I was like, I didn't realize it was holes completed. Hey, how is Zalatoris 37.5 and he's like 9K?
Yeah. Fake.
It's like
worse on Zalatoris.
Worse?
on Zalatoris. There we go.
There we
There's
are.
6.
If you think Keegan's going to make the cut, he's 0.7 more to make the cut. Sep's right there too. There's some juicy to make the cuts
There are
down
a
there.
lot of good juicy pick 6 plays out there at our partner DraftKings. DKNG.co/RPS.
Are we good?
So okay,
I
what
wanna
was the
put it
6th
in.
pick? You got it, Tony.
You got
Click
the
it.
winners?
Click win 15x or more. There we go.
I mean, it's not legal.
So you win
here,
at
I
least
don't think.
15x.
It's not legal.
I know, but scroll through it. Scroll through what we got. We got Bryson, better than 9.5. Connor's better than 28.5. Hatton worse than 22.5. Scheffler worse than 4.5. Mitchell better than 40.5. And Zalatoris worse than 37.5. We're going to finish this up with Tony getting banned from DraftKings.
I'm trying to get it in. It won't let me. Man, it's illegal here. Someone else has got to bet it.
Yeah, I got it. But we're going to finish with your favorite bet to win the tournament. We'll start with Bryce. Who's going to win, why, and what are the odds?
Favorite bet to win the tournament. I think we brought him up earlier. Joaquin Neiman. I think it's 40-1. Just
Snyder?
I went to the without Scotty and Rory market and got Bryson at 2 points less at plus 700. So I like Bryson without Scotty and Rory at 7-1.
Tony?
I was gonna give Neiman because Neiman was the guy I bet personally that I felt the best about. But for the sake of the show, I'm giving my boy Nearguard Peterson at 302-1.
300 bomb.
and I will go in a similar vein. Keith Mitchell 131 on DraftKings. I'm going with Keith Mitchell. So
that's a good
Tony,
price.
Oh yeah. For Tony, for Bryce and Snyder, we will see you next week. Good luck, everybody. Love you guys. Goodbye.